Okay, we're over at the engine again. I've got my head gasket out of the packet and we're using a copper one. This is out of our Sparex VRS set. And look, there's discussion about copper ones and mono torque ones and things like that, and some people swear you shouldn't use this and you should use that and something else. And anyway, everyone gets all excited about these subjects. And the copper head gaskets, that's what they had originally, and look, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but people poo-hoo the mono torque gaskets, which are the normal, like a head gasket material you'd find on a modern car, and they say, oh, you don't use that, these are better, they're copper, they're stronger, and all that. Well, look, it's really all bullshit. These head gaskets that come in the kit, they're fine, there's nothing wrong with them, they're great. The mono torque head gaskets, well, if you can put a diesel engine in a big Chevy or a big Ford or something like that and run 17:1 compression with a mono torque gasket sat down and tensioned correctly, you know, it does the job fine as well. So don't get too caught up in the bullshit. If you are supplied a copper head gasket, there's nothing wrong with it, it's a good thing. That's what I'm using because Sparex supplied it and as part of their kit. And if you're supplied, say you get it from somewhere and they're a mono torque gasket, they're not the copper ones, use it, there's nothing wrong with them. Imagine the court cases if there was. But look, what I do with these copper ones, I like this product Hylomar. Now it's 200ml or 6.75 ounce, and it's a spray on blue shit, gasket sealant, and I like to spray the copper gaskets with them. Now you can see the gasket's got a little mark there. That's nothing, it's copper and it's nice and soft. So I try and spray the head gasket all over with this stuff. And you'll see it start to go whitey looking. Doesn't matter if you've got a little run there, it just doesn't matter. And I find when I use this stuff, you never get a leak down this edge where the rockers are. I've even used aviation cement on this for the same job. No difference that I'm aware of. What I should have mentioned earlier was do a test fit with your gasket. Make sure it's sitting where it is, where you need it, and work out the top and the bottom and all that sort of thing. So along this edge there, that's where I think this stuff particularly helps, and around the back. I've had them leak around the back. So there you go. We'll let that settle for a little. So I'll just sit him up. Sit him up so she almost goes in the hole and not quite. We'll let that go tacky for a few minutes. Now, all the nuts and washers from the cylinder head, the hardened washers and the nuts, I've taken them, given them a clean, and I've got them in a little pot of oil. Just a little bit of engine oil. What that does, when I pull them out of here and put them on the head, it saves me oiling them up and mucking around. So it's just oh look, that's just what I do. Whether you do that or not, it's your thing. Okay, so we'll slide this gasket down now. Now once more, check that the oil hole is open to the cylinder head. Check all the holes are where they should be. I've wiped the cylinder head up, I've checked it again and made sure there's no dust on it. So if you bear with me, I'll go and pick it up and we'll just slide him down over top. Okay. Getting stuck in my shirt. Oh, look at that. Lined the holes up straight away. That's a bit arsey. Okay, so that's sitting down there now. I made sure both surfaces were clean. I put the gasket goo on. Now, this plate It goes on the push rod side on the middle bolt, and I believe it doesn't have a washer. We're using that as a washer. That nut looks a bit ratty on the outside. Someone's been at it one time, but it won't worry us. If you have a look at the washers, you'll see which ones were on the inside of the engine and which ones were on the out. I try and make sure the painted nuts are all back on the outside. And that's a nice even coat of oil everywhere. That's an inside one. Oop. Yep, that is an inside one. And an inside nut. Now what I should have mentioned too, before we sat the cylinder head on, was that you look down the hole and make sure your cam followers are in there. That's an inside one. Be a tad embarrassing putting the head on and finding you had no cam followers and having to take it off again. That'd officially be an oh shit moment. Now at this stage, even though I started in the middle and I'm working my way out, we're not concerned about what order we sit these in. The order becomes important later. That's an inside one. Because there's no tension here at the moment, so that's why we're not concerned. Now the threads will be nicely oiled. It goes that way. I try and follow which way they were before too, as in which way everything sits. Actually that's an inside nut. That's an outside one. The outside one, oops, this way. An outside one. Okay, I'll just wipe my hands up. Now, so all I do now is I have a spanner, it's not too long, 11/16, and I just make sure that's down firm. I make sure each bolt is just down firm at about the same tension. So we're not tensioning, we're just trying to make sure they're reasonably evenly sat down there. With a nice flat block surface and our head being machined, and there shouldn't be any whoops or anything like that to worry us. Just firm. Just firm. Once again, just firm. Whoop. Now, does this socket fit down there? Not quite. That one does. I had this problem earlier, didn't I? I remember when we were undoing it. So, anyway, at the moment, I've got my tension wrench set at 30 foot-pounds. Now, the head tension is 65 foot-pounds. We're only going about halfway. So we just go gentle. We're not there yet, but I'll just take this middle one with me, or the outer one on the other side with me. Now the idea is not to jerk the tension wrench, it's just a slow, gentle pull. So you start at the middle, and then you can do this one, that one, that one, that one. Work in a clockwise direction until you're finished. There's a few other ways of doing it, but the end result is you start at the middle, you work your way out. There's cross patterns, you know, one here, one there, one there, one there, and all that, but you can do that if you like, if you feel comfy doing that. But I just like to work round and round in circles, it seems to work. Now I might have trouble on this one, I believe. That stud must be just ever so much closer on that one. I have a thin walled socket here, so we'll use that for this one, and I will have to find a little extension. I like using impact sockets for torquing things down, but there's no flex, no nothing in that. So let's go nice and steady. Might pan out a little bit, I don't think you can see an awful lot. Okay, now we loosen our tension wrench off. We go up to 65 foot-pounds. Where's foot-pounds? Round this side here. There we go. 66.4, we come back 1 and we should be bang on. Lock him on. Okay, same process. We'll just pull steady. Just go back and check this other one. Lovely. So don't go rushing this job. No need. So it looks like we can pull about a quarter of a turn safely, and then it starts to foam down. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll just retension it again. We'll let it settle. Okay, we've had a bit of a rest, looked on Facebook, and we should be right to run through all this again. And so we'll just pull it ever so gently. It'll probably come. So it must just give everything time to settle just a little bit. Nice and gentle. No big heave, hey? You can make it click any time if you heave into it. And there you go. Now that's sitting the cylinder head on and tensioning it. Sitting the push rods in and the rockers will probably be the next video. It's going to be a little bit hard. We have to position the cam. So which way we go next, I'm not sure. You can now, if you choose to, pull the screwdriver out the side, because turning the engine over now will not move your liners at all. I think we're safe how we've done it. We should be okay. You can see the little blue Hylomar stretching out the side there. That's fine. I usually just tidy that up later with a blade and a little brush and just tidy it up. So there you go. That's how we put a head on a little TEA20.